greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. I say so not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. Now, for those men interested in playing this highly satisfying, yet often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and take notes. I'm going to be explaining my methods. In defense, married women may do likewise, but they will find it will do them little good, especially if they happen to be the chosen victim. My methods have never failed. Now, in order to seduce a man's wife, there are three vital characteristics needed, and they are patience, and still more patience. For those of you who do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, rowing perhaps. Seducing is not for you. Now then, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must, keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her little to no attention. Ignore her if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You are about to witness a practical demonstration, for as it happens, I am madly and deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement knowing that she will pass through these gardens in a matter of minutes with her husband. And every fiber of my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But observe how a master works. I shall be cool almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
Peter Semyonich, fancy meeting you here.
My dear Nikolai, how good to see you. You're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at you.
Thank you, and you, gay devil. You're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at the Vets and off for dinner. Irina, I don't know what this charmer said to you, but I must warn you, he is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you.
Oh, you exaggerate, Nikki. Madam, good to see you again.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you walk with us?
It's very kind of you, Nikolai, but as it happens, I am riveted to this spot. A new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic! You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Oh, suppose magnificent, suppose glorious, and you will suppose correctly.
Are there any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause seems hopeless.
Nonsense! I'm placing my money on you, and you know I don't bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, where are we? Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madam. Beautifully done, don't you think? I'm sometimes awed by the true work of a professional. Did you notice our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word, and yet how much she knows of me already. A, I'm a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to her sedentary husband. And, most importantly, D, a dangerous man with the ladies. Quite frankly, at this point, she is disgusted by me. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank as to my intentions. And because C, she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. By the way, are you getting all this down? It gets tricky from here on. Now for the next step, hypnosis. Not the kind of hypnosis with your eyes, but with the poison of your tongue, much like a venomous snake moving into a kill. And what's more, the best channel is the husband himself. Witness as I accidentally run into him one day at the club.
Peter, you're looking glum. I take your pursuit's not going well.
I'm doomed, Nikki. I haven't seen her since I last saw you and your dear wife. I sleep little and eat less. I've had all my shirt collars taken in half an inch. Oh, Nikki, why do I waste my valuable youth chasing after women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What's the envy about me?
Why, her marriage, of course, an ideal woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What's it about her that fascinates you so?
Why, her grace, her quiet charm, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you. Oh, if only someone would look at me like that with such adoring, loving eyes. They must send quivers throughout your entire body.
Quivers? No, not really.
Oh, a tingle, perhaps. Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Of course. By all means, I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Take that from a lonely bachelor and be glad fate gave you a woman like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you.
Well, that's what I'm counting on. Good heavens, I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia. Please say hello to your extraordinary wife for me, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It might damage your fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. But the question is, how soon will she be mine? There is still more work to be done, but not by me. That task falls to my aide and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich Semyonich today.
Yep.
Peter Semyonich, the bachelor? We met in the gardens last week. That attractive fellow, you remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think of that when you hear what he had to say about him.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
Well, he spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm. He seemed to feel you were capable of loving a man in an extraordinary way. There was something about your eyes and the way they looked so adoringly. He certainly had a lot to say. He went on and on. Good night, my dear.
Good night. What else?
Hmm?
What else did he have to say about me?
Peter?
Whatever that loathsome man's name was. What else did Peter Semyonich have to say about me?
That's about it, more or less. But I told you.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, like you said, don't stop. Either go on and on, or let's just go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me and how much he wants someone to look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens, he must have been looking at you while you're looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you.
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him, so you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't, and I'd rather you didn't tell me such stories. Are you planning to see him again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
I would rather not be discussed over lunch. You can tell him that. At dinner, you can tell me what he said. Good night, Mickey.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. Spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter the mention of my name. The same man she called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. By the way, old man, I ran into Microsoft the other day. The artist, apparently he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty, and, well, he asked me to be on the lookout for a model for him, and I said I knew just the woman, but dare not ask her myself. What do you think about asking your wife?
Ask my wife what?
To be the model, of course. Oh, that lovely face of hers. It'd be a damn shame if that lovely face missed the chance to be immortalized for all the world.
For all the world? Really? I see what you mean then.
Why don't you discuss with her?
Good idea. I'll discuss with her. So I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? Did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Exactly. And that would be a damn shame for that exquisite face to miss a chance to be immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He loves the sound of his own voice. Those exact words. You didn't leave anything out.
Ah, yes, that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
You mean he does go on, doesn't he? How many times did you say it? Once, twice, what?
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
Oh, it's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Have you seen me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between the two of us? No, my dear pupils. And yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We applied this treatment from 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
I think his mind is elsewhere, if you ask me, on some woman by the looks of it.
What woman? Has he mentioned any woman in particular?
Oh no, he's too discreet for that. Instead, he talks of you all day. Poor fool, I'm beginning to feel sorry for her.
Oh, it's really none of our concern, Mickey. Did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The day after?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? Does the man eat?
Well, he says he's involved in some very important project, and that would be months before he can see us. He did say, though, with patience and persistence, good things will come to him. And he did say you should be on stage.
On stage? Me on the stage? Why in heaven's name?
Well, he said, just a moment, I don't want to misquote him.
Oh, no, take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Ah, yes. He said with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it's a sin for her to be just a housewife. That ordinary demands don't exist for such women. Natures like that should not be bound by
Nikki, I don't
time
want
and
to hear
space.
anymore.
And then he said,
Nikki,
if
I
I'm so
implore you,
busy, I
please
will